Ben Beanblossom and the Death of His Grandpa, Dr. Michael Lane Baker. "What's wrong?" Ben asked. "Grandpa is very sick," said Ben's dad. "Why do you look so sad? Grandpa has been sick before, and he was fine," Ben said. "He is very sick this time, and the doctors think he might die soon," Ben's mom said. "They would like us to come to the hospital to say goodbye." "Dad, I am here. I wanted to tell you I love you very much, and you are a great father," said Ben's dad, holding his father's hand. "Grandpa, I'm here too," said Ben. "I love you too, and I will miss you." Ben's grandpa died about an hour later. Ben and his mom and dad went to the cafeteria to talk. "Grandpa has been sick and in pain for a long time. He is not in pain anymore. He is at peace now with Grandma," said Ben's dad. "What happens when you die, Dad?" asked Ben. "When Grandma died, I was a baby, and I don't remember her. How will Grandpa see Grandma again?" "Let's go outside, Ben." Ben and his dad left the cafeteria while Ben's mom went back to Grandpa's room to talk to the nurses. "Look around, Ben. Every living thing you see will someday die. Some things live a very short time, like an ant or flowers. Some things live longer, like birds or squirrels, while other things live a long time, like trees and people." "I'm alive," said Ben. "Will I die?" "Someday you will. Someday I will. Someday everybody will," Ben's dad said. "How is Grandpa going to see Grandma again?" Ben asked. "Ben, we believe that when living things die, they go to live with God in heaven. In heaven, there is no sadness and no pain. That is how Grandma and Grandpa are together again," explained Ben's dad. "Grandpa is with Grandma in heaven?" asked Ben. "Yes," replied Ben's dad. "Then how come in my head he still feels alive?" questioned Ben. "I can still remember all the things we did together." "We believe God created each of us with a very special part called a soul. When you die, the soul leaves the body and goes to live with God. The body stays here. But what also stays here are the wonderful moments we shared with Grandpa. Those moments keep Grandpa alive in our memories for a long time," explained Ben's dad. "Since Grandpa's soul went to live with God in heaven, that is why his body was still lying in the hospital bed after he died," understood Ben. "That's right, Ben," said Ben's dad reassuringly. "In a couple of days we will have a funeral for Grandpa where we will honor and remember him and the life he lived. Let's go get your mom and head home." 2 days later was the visitation. "If Grandpa's funeral is tomorrow, what are we doing tonight?" asked Ben. "Tonight we are going to the visitation," said Ben's dad. "What is the difference?" asked Ben. "At a visitation, people come and look at Grandpa's body and say goodbye. They may also talk to us and tell stories about Grandpa and tell us they are sorry he is gone," explained Ben's dad. "What should I say if someone says something to me?" asked Ben. "You can tell them thank you. And if you want, you can tell them a story about Grandpa too," said Ben's dad. "Let's walk up and look at Grandpa's body, Ben. I'm nervous, expressed Ben. It will be okay, I promise, answered Ben's dad. He looks like Grandpa, but he doesn't really look like Grandpa, said Ben. That is because this is just his body, and the part of him we knew and loved, his soul, is in heaven with God. If you touch him, he won't feel like Grandpa, said Ben's dad. He feels cold and hard, nothing like Grandpa used to feel like, Ben said. Mr. Beanblossom, your dad was a great man, and I enjoyed working with him. And Ben, your grandpa introduced me to the woman I have been married to the last 50 years, said the man in the black jacket. Thank you, said Ben's dad. Thank you, said Ben. As they drove home, Ben asked, What do we do at a funeral? Tomorrow, we will mostly sit and listen to people talk about Grandpa. The casket will be closed instead of open. We will pray together and sing some songs, explained Ben's mom. Harry Beanblossom was a dear friend, wonderful father, and fantastic grandfather, said the man at the podium. As the man spoke, Ben's thoughts drifted off to the memories of his grandpa and the great times they had together. Those special moments when it was just the two of them were the times when Ben felt like the most special person in the whole wide world. Where are we going now, Dad? Asked Ben. We are going to the cemetery. That is where the casket will be buried, explained Ben's dad. Does everyone get buried in a casket? Asked Ben. My friend at school said his grandma was cremated and they spread the ashes in a field. I asked him what cremated meant, and he said his grandma's body was burned up until there was just ashes. That's right, Ben. Some people get cremated. Your grandpa wanted to be buried next to your grandma, explained Ben's dad. When we are done with the service here, Ben, they will lower the casket into a box called a vault at the bottom of the hole. After we leave, they will put a top on the vault, then fill the grave in with dirt. In a few weeks, they will put Grandpa's name on the headstone next to Grandma's, explained Ben's mom. I miss Grandpa, said Ben. We miss him too, said Ben's mom. I love you, Mom and Dad, Ben said. We love you too, Ben, said Ben's mom and dad. The end.